every great cultural movement begins with a few bold believers. And in the case of the Renaissance, they happened to be bankers, the Medici family. They were the patrons behind all the great minds, Donatello, Brunelleschi, Botticelli, and Michelangelo. You can safely say this family invented the Renaissance. People often say money can't buy culture. Well, not always. The Medici story is about how money became power and power ultimately became beauty. Welcome to Jada Academy. The Medicis were not born noble, they became noble. The family came from the Tuscan countryside of Mugello. Through trade, strategy, and a genius for finance, Giovanni di Medici founded the Medici Bank in the early 1400s. They managed the Pope's account and controlled the flow of credits across Europe. So quickly within a generation, Florence became the financial capital of Europe. But as Florence at the time was a republic, wealth alone wasn't enough to take you to the top. You have to be useful for the city and loved by the people. And that's where art came in. Because in Renaissance Florence, art wasn't just decoration, it was diplomacy. To commission a chapel, a statue, or a fresco was to project virtue, faith, and civic pride. And Giovanni's son Cosimo understood this perfectly. He funded Brunelleschi's dome for the Florence Cathedral. Decades of construction amidst war, plague, and financial strain nearly bankrupted him. But when the dome was finally finished, it crowned both Florence and the Medici name. He then went on to finance Donatello's David, Fra Angelico's frescoes in San Marco, and the Palazzo Medici itself. Cosimo used beauty to rebuild Florence and to redefine what power looks like. Then a few decades later came his grandson, Lorenzo, also named Lorenzo the Magnificent. And yes, he truly lived up to his name. He surrounded himself with artists and philosophers, Botticelli, Poliziano, Verrocchio, Leonardo da Vinci, and later a teenage Michelangelo who he personally took into his household. But then of course, not everyone was thrilled about it. When you hold that much power and that much gold, people tend to get nervous. In 1478, during Sunday Mass in the Florence Cathedral, the Pazzi conspiracy struck. Lorenzo and his younger brother Giuliano were attacked. Giuliano died on the spot, but Lorenzo survived, and his ruthless response afterwards cemented his rule. But Florence wouldn't stay peaceful for long. After Lorenzo's death in 1492, his son Piero de' Medici lacked his father's brilliance and diplomacy. So when the fiery Dominican friar Savonarola rose to power, preaching against vanity, corruption, and luxury, the Medicis were exiled from their own city. In the infamous bonfire of the Vanities, the Florentines burned their books, jewels, and paintings, destroying the very culture it had created. And with the Medicis gone, the city that once defined civilization seemed to lose their voice. But history has a rhythm of its own, and power, like spring, always finds its way back. Because this exile wasn't the end of the Medici. It was merely an intermission. In no time, they would be coming back stronger than ever, and continue to shape the 16th century from Papal Rome to the French court. But that is a story for part 2.